No wonder these aren't a go-to when trying to be fancy. But since they're affordable and readily available, is there anything we can do to make them fancy? In today's video, we're going to French bone some chicken drumsticks. These are also known as chicken lollipops. Isn't that a great name for them? Sometimes, if you're using a cheaper cut of meat, putting a little more effort into the preparation is all that's needed to take it to the next level. Like always on this channel, we'll plate them up a few different ways to give you some inspiration for when you're next cooking these at home. So without any further ado, let's get straight into boning these. The first thing you need to do is cut around the drumstick here in the narrow bit. Twist the chicken and make a cut all the way around. Then we want to take the end knuckle completely off. These can be a bit temperamental. Some will just pop off with a bit of a twist, and others will need a bit of poking and prodding. You could hold it with a paper towel if things are getting too slippery. You'll end up with a few tendons sticking out here and there, so grab those and cut them off with some kitchen scissors. They're very slippery little things and are good at hiding. You'll also notice this fine toothpick bone. If you stick your fingers down as far as you can snap it off and pull it out. Squash the meat down the bone to fully expose the bone. Another thing you can do to make these stand up without leaning over is to trim a little of the cartilage off on the base to give it a flat surface to stand on. That's much better. So here's our lovely little French boned chicken drums. And over here I've got a couple that I'm not going to French bone so that we've got something to compare them to when they're cooked. To marinate these today, I have some butter, Dijon mustard, a little bit of soy sauce, crushed garlic, honey, and a sprinkle of salt. I'm going to microwave these ingredients briefly to melt the butter and honey, and then we can mix it into a smooth sauce. Before I pour it over the chicken, I'm going to line my oven tray with tin foil and give it a light spray with oil. You can thank me later when it comes to cleaning up this tray. You won't need to do any scrubbing of burnt on honey. Let's put these in and pour over the sauce. You could wrap each drumstick bone in tin foil if you want to take the presentation a step further. This will stop the bone going a bit black while cooking. Now we can bake these in a hot oven for about 30 minutes until they're golden and cooked through. Here they are. I wish you could smell them. Before we plate individual portions, let's plate them up as a whole to see how they could look for a self-serve meal. Chicken drumsticks are unique in that they have a bone, so we can stand them up to make good use of the height it creates. Make sure you don't go putting some down in the opposite direction though. That would ruin your whole presentation. Keep them all going the same way for the best visual appeal. Here they are, garnished and ready to go on the table. They look great, don't they? To serve with our plated portions of chicken lollipops today, I'm making some honey glazed turned carrots. They are such a traditional way to serve carrots, aren't they? They're a bit of effort too, but they look delicious. Turned carrots cook evenly and look at that lovely glossy appearance. I've also got some potatoes here ready to mash. Here's some hot milk and butter to add for flavour and smoothness. Chefs would always use cream and butter, but it works either way, so just use what you have on hand. You can even add the liquid you drained off if you want to keep it dairy free. I'm going to pipe some of the mash soon, so I'll put it into a piping bag in preparation for doing that. This is a reusable piping bag. It's a bit thicker and better for hot food than a plastic one. So let's do it. Here's our piping bag of mash all ready to go. I'm going to pipe a nice tall stack right here. Isn't this a great way to serve mashed potato? I love the texture the nozzle creates, and look at the height. I've also got some green beans for colour, so I'm going to add them here to act as a bed for the carrots. Then we can add our shiny glazed turned carrots. We'll use 3, all coming out from a central point. I hardly ever make these because they are a bit of effort, but they're actually a great addition to fancy up a plated meal. It definitely looks better than a pile of glazed carrot rings would look. Now we can add our chicken. I'll hold the normal one here so you can get a rough idea of what this would have looked like without the French boning. And now we'll swap it with a chicken lollipop and garnish it with some chopped parsley. What do you think of that? Let me know down below. Let's plate another idea. This time I'm going to put some mashed potato into a ring mould to give it a bit of shape. I'm going to add some oven roasted carrot halves in a pile here at the front, and then some green beans mixed in for colour. Now we'll see what the chicken drumsticks look like as they are. I love how much height you can achieve standing them up like that. Let's swap them to the French boned option. In this case, it would look funny to put the bones facing the same way, wouldn't it? So crossing them over makes it appealing to look at. In general, food presentation and plating is more of a visual art. There aren't any strict rules. It comes down to what looks best at the time. I'm going to finish this with a sprinkle of chopped parsley. If you've learnt something about plating boring chicken drumsticks, you might like this video as well, where we plate bland, dull fish in a way that's more appealing and exciting. The way you plate food can completely change your perception of what it tastes like. Try it and see what reactions you receive. See you over there.